Malcolm Stewart's epic endo. I wasn't going to talk about it because we sort of know what happened. However, I've been getting a lot of comments on my channel of, hey, what did happen? Is he okay? And I have to agree with Ricky Carmichael that it was potentially as simple as a false neutral. But then the analyst in me, thinking logically, could it have been a fuel pump? Could it have bogged on him? Or could he have simply just lost focus because the race was getting away from him? He went from first to third with 3 laps to go. He could have been sitting there going, well, shit, lost my chance yet again. And it just all unraveled because we've been there. If you're a racer, you've been there. And as soon as you start thinking of, I got one more lap or this is going bad, shit actually goes bad. We have an explanation from Malcolm himself a few days ago saying, unfortunately, we did have a crash with 3 laps to go. It was a big crash for sure. And I'm glad that I'm healthy and walked away from it. If it was a fuel pump and it wasn't a Malcolm issue, would Husky be owning up to it? I don't know. Because what happened at the World Supercross with the MDK team and Josh Grant breaking his chain and then Chad Reed having an incredibly similar, very ironic type crash, and it was a fuel pump. Lands on top, boom, lost all power, and goes, woo. And he made a big stink on the internet saying this should never happen. Whether you're 16 or 60, you shouldn't have to worry about a bike being unsafe with a fuel pump. That would negatively be bad PR for Husky. But if we just look at what happened here in slow-mo, Malcolm's on top. Looks like he lost all power. Looked like he lost all power. And that could have been either one of those 3 solutions. Lost focus, false neutral, or the power cut out. But without somebody physically saying what happened, besides just it's a big crash, I don't think we'll ever know. I will run this in real time. And I would assume that the riders are going, second gear after the long whoop section straight away across the start. You're taking that basically 180-degree corner, and then you're going to go on off, probably second, shift to third, so then you can go triple, then quad into the corner. So you are probably going to shift up after that. And you can see Malcolm does start to preload the bike, like he's trying to lift the motorcycle up, and it just has no forward momentum. Boom. And then if we go back to Chad Reed's crash, it looks similar, just no power. And then the last angle of Malcolm, just no power. And Malcolm is healthy. He's seen with Alden Baker that he's training again, which is good. And he's going to have an extra week to recover because the Oakland Supercross has been postponed due to weather. They've had a lot of rain, and it's kind of a bummer hearing that it is being canceled because the Daytona races of all the mud, they're fun to watch. If you're thinking of this as a business and what happened with COVID, nobody's in a position to be losing more money. And if you're going to run an operation and nobody's going to show up to watch because it's going to be crappy weather, you're going to not make as much money as you would like to. So it's better just to postpone it. And they have it postponed as a slot open for February 18th, which is a good call, by the sport. I'm glad that they had an open weekend, that they're able to do this. I was hearing rumors that it might go to Anaheim again because there's only 2 Anaheims on the schedule. It'd be hard to move an entire Supercross track with muddy dirt. Well, actually, each stadium has their own dirt. But if the storm is even over in Anaheim, just all around California, that's not going to be an option. So this makes perfect sense, and it's kind of a bummer for the fans and just having the open stadium because somebody like me, I want to see a mud race. But if you remember San Diego 2019, they put lime in the dirt to try to help this out, and it completely destroyed motors, and it burnt people. Roxon's over here saying that he couldn't ride because he had a chemical burn. It was bad. It was a PR nightmare. They had to come up with some money to try to fix stuff, and it wasn't even enough for riders to recoup what they lost because of it destroying the motorcycles so much. And as a privateer, there were some times when I was in big mud races and my father, my mechanic, was going, we are not racing. We can't afford to have this bike blow up. And even though you could level the playing field with the conditions, is it worth it? Would be a main event, top 15, be worth blowing up your $20,000 to $30,000 motorcycle? Maybe if that was the last race you were willing to do, and unless you had a limited budget, yeah, for a privateer, you're not really going to get any new sponsors or get on a team because of it. It's more or less going to be a self-fulfillment accomplishment where you get to say, hey, I got a top 15, because it's not going to return in a reward. Risk versus reward, blow your bike up, risk your whole bike, potentially maybe finish the best you ever will in your career. That is just going to be lasting for you, because outside sponsors and teams, they're going to go, hey, it was a fluke. This guy did real well because it was a mud race. Unless you actually win the race, would be the only real big upside. So for this instant, I do have to say good job on Feld and everybody involved that are probably working their ass off and have probably lost money at this point, at least with Oakland having to move everything out of the stadium, everything that they've done so far. It's just a bummer. But this is Johnny F. and Hopper. Until next time, keep it WFO. Make sure you stay tuned. We still got some live shows going, and I want everybody to watch on Friday our shit show that is going to be episode 2, and we'll talk more about this. We're going to argue live, and you'll be able to ask questions. It's going to be dope. And I do have to also say thank you to everybody that has been choosing to subscribe. I have noticed a bump. You definitely, on my analytics, because again, I'm a numbers guy, there's a big bump. It looks like Bitcoin is just going to the moon. That's what I'm saying. It's risen a bunch. And so I appreciate everybody that has been deciding to stick around and support the channel. Till next time. Bye.